Hi, I'm Cynthia Brugge. I live in Fairview, and I'm dazzled literally every day by the things that I hear. And this question or answer probably should come from our Senator Hall. When you're sitting in the audience with your legislative body of people around you, and you find yourself discussing things that it's so obvious what the answer is. For example, in New York, they're talking about having, concentration camps. I mean, they're literally, the governor and the health department are trying to make that a thing, where you can just go to the door and say, come with us. And if that happens, the truckers and every Republican in the country needs to go to New York. I mean, seriously, it's not happening in the United States. But bottom line is that I think the indoctrination is happening with our town councils and our school boards by the attorneys. They have meetings every week. Even if they don't have anything to discuss, they have a meeting. And the town manager for the councils and the superintendent for the school boards, along with their attorneys, are basically indoctrinating the board to be scared. They're using lawfare and threats of lawsuits. So I was wondering what your comment would be on how, and I know it's a question you probably can't answer in 2 seconds, but just have you ever thought about that? Has it ever been a thing on the table with the legislature of these public meetings acts, for example, and having more of a requirement that they don't meet with attorneys unless there's absolutely something that they're supposed to meet about? I mean, I'm just saying, I think a lot of our problem is that we elect leaders, but then they're trained in school.
There is a provision in the law for what they call executive session, and I think it's badly abused. And it's something that we've already been started talking about in the office of looking into that, how we can handle that, because there is precious little that they could be talking about that people should not hear. I mean, transparency and openness in government. I mean, it needs to be totally transparent, because there's nothing government should be talking about doing to people that they shouldn't be talking about where they can hear them when they're talking about it. So no, we need to have total openness in all the meetings and discussions. And as far as the attorneys, that's their job to do that, because we've got such convoluted laws that a lot of that discussion is, you got to be careful, you got to do this in this sequence, or you got to do this instead of that because of the law. So there is a need for a lot of discussion, because we have, I mean, when your legislature meets every 2 years, you know how many new laws come out of that? Close to 1,500. Over 7,000 are filed, and you end up with about 1,500 every year in there. So it's it is something that it's going to hard to put the brakes on it, but I do agree on the open meetings aspect.